Love is patient, love is kind. And according to Netflix's hit reality dating show, Love is Blind. The concept of the show is based on singles looking for their future spouse, without ever seeing each other's faces. The show follows contestants as they made connections with total strangers in futuristic dating pods, and certainly, it didn't lack for plenty of disastrous moments, often cringe-worthy enough to make one feel grateful for being single. From age-obsessed contestants to terrible first impressions to wine-drinking dogs, Love is Blind is full of awkward, sometimes alarming moments, certain to make you red with secondhand embarrassment. Here's a look at the most awkward moments on this show. Number 10. Carlton Morton's date with Amber Pike. Carlton Morton and Amber Pike might have been two of the most outspoken, headstrong contestants on Netflix's Love is Blind Season 1. That said, as viewers learned in the first episode of the Netflix series, Pike and Morton's similar demeanors unfortunately weren't enough to ignite a spark between the two contestants. During the Love is Blind season premiere, viewers watched as Pike and Morton were paired up in the dating pods. However, as Pike talked to Morton about her non-existent daddy issues and being a tomboy as a kid, Morton grew visibly uninterested. At one point, the contestant even pretended to take a nap in his pod as Pike unwittingly continued boring Morton with stories from her life. Finally, as Pike was talking about wanting to build things and be a bad A, Morton quietly made his way out of the pod without saying goodbye, leaving Pike alone to talk to a wall. Yeah, we'd say sneaking out while the other person is talking is one of the things you should never do on a first date, but some people live for the drama. Number 9. Matt Barnett curves Jessica. The show might be called Love is Blind, but for contestant Matt Barnett, a more fitting title could have been Love is Confusing. Throughout the first 3 episodes of Season 1, Barnett's cookie jar was full as he struggled with his feelings for 3 different women: Jessica Batten, Amber Pike, and Lauren Chamblin. And as viewers saw, Barnett's initial inability to make a decision led to more than a few awkward conversations. During one pod date with Jessica, Barnett mentioned wanting to propose to her, subsequently causing Jessica to consider putting her budding relationship with Mark Cuevas on the back burner. However, during their following pod date, Barnett confessed he wasn't planning to propose to Jessica after all. Ouch! Not only was it awkward to watch Jessica realize Barnett didn't feel as strongly for her as she did for him, but it was even more uncomfortable to watch Jessica drunkenly confront Barnett's front-runner and future fiancé, Pike, telling her, "I'm just telling you, he's a freak boy. I just walked out on him." Needless to say, the conversation that followed was totally cringe-worthy. Number 8. Damien Powers' devastating heartbreak. This runaway bride moment was awkward and heartbreaking all at once. Jabelli's runaway bride moment had been teased since the promos for Netflix's Love is Blind were first released, so seeing the moment finally play out on screen was undoubtedly thrilling for viewers. Despite their tumultuous relationship, Gianna Jabelli was more than prepared to say "I do" to fiancé Damien Powers on their wedding day. So, when Powers tearfully responded to Jabelli with an "I do not," the almost bride did what any reasonable, level-headed adult would do when confronted with the same situation. She ran away. However, thrills soon turned to secondhand embarrassment when Jabelli tripped on the wet grass outside of the wedding venue. Some even called that moment an unfortunate cherry on top of a bad day Sunday. Things were only made worse by Jabelli's mother, who ran after her daughter, eventually finding the crying contestant on top of a parking structure. However, instead of comforting Jabelli, the concerned mother unintentionally rubbed salt in an open wound, telling her daughter, "Ideally, you would have said no, and he would have said yes." Wait, what? Number 7. Jessica's dog fancies some wine. Jessica Batten letting her dog drink wine was a super awkward moment on the show, but this wasn't as shocking as the star was at the center of countless awkward moments in Netflix's Love is Blind Season 1. However, this particular moment stood out from the rest, and it set the internet ablaze with criticism. In the 6th episode of Love is Blind's first season, viewers watched as Jessica and fiancé Mark Cuevas had yet another heated discussion about their relationship, with Jessica expressing her apprehensiveness about the age difference between herself and her fiancé, as well as Cuevas' super close relationship with his mother. However, the most memorable moment from their conversation came when Jessica nonchalantly lowered her wine glass and allowed her golden retriever Peyton to have a taste. After letting Peyton get her fill, Jessica whispered, "She loves wine." Making the situation even more uncomfortable, Jessica confessed in a blog interview that she doesn't even remember the buzzed about moment. "I don't even remember doing it." She continued saying, "I don't know why I did that, but it was definitely unnecessary for sure." Number 6. Two drunk girls. This drunken conversation was almost too cringe-worthy to watch. Thanks to their respective relationships with Matt Barnett, Amber Pike and Jessica Batten weren't exactly BFFs throughout the hit series' first season. Unsurprisingly, their relationship was made even more contentious by Jessica's lingering feelings for Barnett despite her engagement to Mark Cuevas, and, of course, Barnett's engagement to Pike. In the 9th episode of Love is Blind's inaugural season, the group of women went out for a joint bachelorette party, which overflowed with both alcohol and drama. During the celebration, an inebriated Jessica approached Pike as she sat alone at the bar, wrapping her fellow contestant in a hug and drunkenly telling her, "I won't go after you're due." Yeah, right. We could smell suspicious from a mile away also. Was this necessary? Pike, who had long been suspicious of Jessica, responded by saying she would have broken Jessica's nose had she tried to make a move on Barnett. Surprisingly, Pike's confession didn't seem to faze Jessica, and the two topped off their alcohol-fueled gal chat with a cringe-worthy, drunken kiss. Number 5. Matt Barnett Stripper Fantasy. Matt Barnett making fun of Diamond Jack's name was a cringe-worthy moment that deserved a spot on our list. While Diamond Jack didn't make it to the altar with former fiancé Carlton Morton, Diamond was so popular amongst Netflix's Love is Blind fans that she was invited to join the cast for the special post-finale reunion episode, in which she and Morton officially renewed their friendship following the explosive argument that ended their engagement. Fortunately, the former dancer for the Atlanta Hawks basketball team provided plenty of entertainment throughout her short time on the show. During her first pod date with Matt Barnett, Diamond delighted viewers when she put the contestant in his place for taking a cheap shot at her name. "My name is Diamond," Jack said. When Barnett responded with a touch of apprehension in his voice, Diamond continued, "That's my real name. I heard it in your voice. You were like, questioning it." Laughing, Barnett responded, "So, which strip club do you work at?" While Barnett said he was kidding, Diamond was having none of this nonsense, telling him she was docking 5 points from his score. Obviously, Barnett isn't as funny as he thinks. To some extent, some people even found it racist. What do you think? Is Matt Barnett a funny guy, or does someone need to burst his bubble and take his head from the clouds? If it was a personal opinion, I think the comments about Diamond Jack's name were sensitive. Number 4. Jessica again. I kid you not when I say Jessica was the mother of awkward during Love is Blind's first season. Aside from her obsession with her fellow contestant Matt Barnett, Jessica Batten also had a weird obsession with her age. As any Love is Blind fan knows, Jessica Batten is 34 and Mark Cuevas is 24. At least that's how old the contestants were while filming Netflix's Love is Blind. Jessica made sure to remind Mark and viewers of the 10-year age gap throughout nearly every conversation with her fiancé. During the 6th episode of the series, viewers watched as Jessica took it upon herself to lay out simple mathematics from Mark, who seemed more than ready to never talk about his age again. "If we have a kid and I'm like 36, you're 26, Batten told Mark, as if this was new information. She continued saying, "The kid turns 14. I'm 50, you're 40. Again, Mark assured Batten that he understood, but she didn't stop there. "So then, in 10 years, if the kid's like 8 years old, that's when your parents will be 75 years old." While we understand where Jessica was coming from, the entire interaction felt like one cringe-worthy math problem the couples could never seem to solve. It is sad to say that Jessica carried the crown as the ambassador of awkward for the show's first season. Anyway, remember the time Powers had his heart broken? That's not the only awkward moment this couple had to face. Number 3. Trouble in the bedroom. This couple's bedroom problems made for an extremely awkward moment. Gianna Gibelli and Damien Powers are two people who would have likely never dated in the real world, so it was a shock to see these two wildly different individuals form such a connection on the show, with Gibelli even shaking up the gender norm by getting down on one knee to propose to Powers during their final pod date. Of course, it didn't take long for Gibelli's and Powers' compatibility to be tested, with Powers even asking the outspoken Gibelli to watch her language and keep her political opinions to herself. However, the most shocking and terribly awkward moment of Gibelli's and Powers' engagement period came when the fiery Gibelli chastised the more conservative Powers for his skills in the bedroom. Cringe. In the 7th episode of Love is Blind, Gibelli asked Powers, "You know how you tell me this is the best sex of your life?" She continued, questioning her fiancé further. "Have you noticed that I don't return the compliment?" Crickets. Shots fired. Officer down. I repeat, officer down. Ouch. Number 2, Cameron the Rap King. Cameron Hamilton rapping for Lauren Speed's mom was too awkward to watch. These two became the first couple to get engaged on the show, and the Lovebirds managed to maintain their fan-favorite couple status throughout the series, ultimately tying the knot in the season finale. However, while Lauren and Cameron's relationship was far more sweet than awkward, Cameron did make Love is Blind fans feel the burn of secondhand embarrassment when he made the bold decision to bust out a rap for Lauren's mother during their first meeting. "Back in college, I was in a hip-hop group, and we performed a little bit," Cameron revealed to Lauren's mom, who asked her daughter's fiancé to give her a taste of his talent. After a little hesitation, Cameron burst into song, or rap rather, about his relationship with Lauren, dropping lines like, "I'm living in a dream and those haters wonder why. Well, I'm so high up that I feel like I can fly." As much as we love the guy, we could have gone without hearing Cameron's terrible audition. Number 1, a salty reunion for Jessica and Pike. This interaction during the show's reunion was awkward and unproductive, even unnecessary for that matter. Despite seemingly talking out their differences at the joint bachelorette party and sealing their drunken conversation about Matt Barnett with a kiss, Amber Pike and Jessica Batten's relationship was rockier than ever during the Love is Blind reunion special. "You're shiesty," the newly blonde Pike told Jessica. She continued, calling her former fellow contestant so fake and criticizing her behavior throughout filming. "Obviously, I was rejected by Barnett. I didn't take that very well," Jessica admitted, revealing that watching her actions on screen had been brutal. Jessica offered an apology for how she acted toward both Pike and Barnett, saying, "It definitely was not good of me to even ever question their relationship." However, Pike made it clear that she wasn't ready to forgive and forget. Pushed by Netflix's Love is Blind co-host Vanessa Lachey to accept Jessica's apology, Pike reluctantly said, "I accept the intent behind the apology." Awkward. We are sure we might have missed out on some amazing awkward gems. Feel free to share some more in the comments section below.